This is In Focus. I'm Angela Klose, joined by a very special guest today. And we have Peter Bostelmann, Chief Mindfulness Officer and Head of the SAP Global Mindfulness Practice with us. Peter, great to see you virtually this time.
Thank you, Angela, for having me, and hello everybody on this call.
So the corona crisis has turned all of our lives upside down. And if you look at the graphics of the Johns Hopkins University showing in real time the number of COVID-19 infected all over the globe, it looks a bit like a scenario from a zombie movie. So from your personal experience, have you noticed that fears are currently increasing?
Well, what I know from the work we're doing, we're checking in with people, and it's always both sides. For some people, they love that they have more that they don't travel that much, that they have more time. Others feel it's too lonesome. Some people feel it's great to have time with the family, and then it can also be overburdening. And this is, of course, where mindfulness comes in, that you can learn to balance this in a better way. But for sure, we, with the whole team, increase more questions. How can I handle this better? How can I deal with anxiety, with frustration, with worry, and all those what's happening?
So it's not only that we face increasing anxiety, obviously, but also social isolation due to the measures against the virus. So how can mindfulness practice and compassion practice help us, especially in this difficult situation?
One is, of course, that you notice more the feelings and thoughts around it, so that they're not happening somewhere in the background in your body and just make you feel bad, but you notice feelings and thoughts, allowing them, but also noticing they're coming and going. They're body sensations. They're coming and they're staying and they're going for a while, so they're not you. So by this shifting from I am the emotion, I feel this loneliness, to observing, interesting. This is how it feels in this moment. Let's see how it changes. This might be helpful. So this observing is one piece of being mindful. And then perhaps also creating positive habits. So really understand, notice what helps you. I mean, it's basics, right? Sleep well, eat well. If you can, exercise. Be very careful how much stuff you watch, digital detax. Schedule Zoom calls with friends. It's better than not having any connection. That would be some of the positive habits I would recommend. And then you mentioned compassion and self-compassion, so that you don't beat yourself up. If you feel it's a little tough, or it's tough to be alone, or to be anxious in these times, that's very natural. And so be kind to yourself as much as you would be kind to other people.
You live and work in California for 12 years now, and you also regularly come to Europe, but the virus has also a severe impact on your personal life. For some weeks now, you're stranded in Berlin. You're unable to go back to the US because of travel restrictions.
I mean, in the beginning, it was quite disturbing. I mean, I stranded here due to a family funeral. And then the travel ban came up and I couldn't travel back, and I'm here in a small apartment.
How does your mindfulness practice help you in this situation?
When you're exposed to anxiety, to emotions, it's like swimming in the waves of an ocean. And with the mindfulness practice, you calm yourself down, and it's like you would grow legs to the ground so that you stand more firmly. So I can see all these emotions, also the involved grief with my family situation, but I can also be more strongly with it. It gives me deeper calm, and it also helps me to take different perspectives on that and see that basically I'm safe here and I'm well supported. And this also will change. It will become nice again.
Since 2012, Global Mindfulness Practice is also running the most successful training at SAP, which is called Search Inside Yourself. More than 12,000 employees in 56 locations worldwide have already completed it. Why has SAP adopted mindfulness practice as a part of its DNA?
I mean, I discovered mindfulness myself like 15 years ago. And honestly, before that, I was a little bit, I had some false ideas what it is, and I thought it's not for me. And then I started practicing. I noticed, oh, this is really helpful in terms of being more focused in difficult times, finding more calm, regulating my emotions, creating more joy in challenges and all of that. And so I started grassroots about 8 years ago, and I would have not thought that it really grows big, but it has grown from small grassroots out of employee demand to this 12,000 employees, as you mentioned, that have attended our signature program, the Search and Set Yourself program. And also we have currently 9,000 people on the different waiting lists waiting for it.
So when you talk to skeptics that might suspect that mindfulness is just another nice to have, feel well trend, which proofs come from research showing that mindfulness is really effective?
Science is showing that the brain actually is changing by the way you're using it. The word that's describing it is neuroplasticity. So in a very simple form, you become what you practice. The thought you always repeat becomes a new neural pathway in your brain. As neurons that fire together, wire together. And so by practicing certain habits, by practicing learning to regulate your attention, you strengthen this, so to speak, this muscle in your brain. And so what mindfulness does, and this is proven by thousands of studies, that it has an effect on your capacity to focus. It has an effect on your capacity to regulate your emotions. It has an effect on your self-awareness. It increases your emotional intelligence. It has a positive effect on your health. And with all of that, your capacity to lead yourself and to lead others is increasing.
So the success of mindfulness practice at SAP has also impressed SAP customers. In response to customer demand, your team now also helps businesses establish mindfulness practices in their own organizations. Can you give us some examples?
We have a business case from which of 200% return on investment, and this is where customers became interested. Oh, what are you doing there? How is this so successful and so popular? And we're working with large global organizations like Siemens, like Deutsche Telekom, like Procter & Gamble, like Allianz, or Deutsche Bank also to mention, and many others. They're interested to learn from us. How are you doing this? How do you make this so successful as a community within the organization?
So what you're doing exactly with these customers?
We're basically passing on our best practices. And it starts with keynotes for top executives, even up to board level of such companies, and also keynotes for all employees, where we basically demystify and explain what this is all about. And then it is about delivering training. So we bring in our very experienced trainer from SAP.
What do you do in terms of virtual training offers to SAP customers?
So we created a whole virtual strategy, starting with keynotes, then hourly formats, this 2-day training, which can be stretched out over several days, and other deep dive formats, depending on what customers need. And for the ones that have trainers, we also help to mentor and to upskill those trainers. So it's different offerings we bring now in a virtual format.
Finally, what do you suggest to a beginner that would like to start with mindfulness practice from scratch? Is there any exercise you could recommend?
A very simple, short one, and it's a short, integrated grounding practice. We call this the 3 breath practice. Let me first explain it, and then we do it together. So you do with each breath, you do one step. First breath, you put your full attention on your breath. With the second breath, you do relax your body, and with the third breath, you ask yourself, what is important right now? And let's do this together. So we do the first breath. You put your full attention on your breath. Second breath, relax your body. And with the third breath, ask yourself, what's important right now? Thank you.
Peter, I really appreciate that you took this time to talk with me, time for this interview. And please keep up all this good work with your team. Peter Bostelmann, Chief Mindfulness Officer at SAP. We'll catch up with you again soon and look for an update. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you, Angela, and thanks everybody for listening and for being curious to this. And I hope you all stay safe and sound, and all your beloved ones.